has substantial local activity, a sector which can make communities better, more livable places. At last count, this sector was worth $86 billion to the Australian economy. And yet in regions across Australia, there is very little awareness of the value of the sector or the fact that the action doesn't only happen in cities. And there are very few examples of good policy to help grow and develop this sector regionally. So, the sector that I work in? The cultural and creative industries. In my job running the Regional Arts Development Organisation for the New South Wales Central West, I observed that regional creative practitioners work differently to those in urban settings. They need to be understood differently, they need to be supported differently. And yet policy, even where it does exist, is almost always predicated on a metropolitan model. So, over the past few years, I've been collecting data. I've done interviews with regional practitioners from my area. I've sent out a survey. I'm doing interviews with policy people. I've also interviewed rural practitioners in the UK for comparison. And I've collected statistical data. And with this, I'm creating a policy platform that will give us better ways of developing place-appropriate policy to develop this region. So, this policy platform has 5 areas that feed into it. Firstly, economically, it's important to recognise that the regional and rural economy has its own peculiarities and to move away from a neoliberal model which can be quite damaging. And that includes looking at the precarious labour practices that can really undermine the way regional practitioners work. Secondly, it's about the social capital that this sector can give to regional communities. Thirdly, good policy can scaffold ways that practitioners can access collaborative ways of working, collective work, networking, and this can reduce the isolation of being a regional practitioner. Fourthly, the evidence shows that regional practitioners may have different motivations to those in urban settings, and so we need to have policy that can respond to this. And finally, we need to think about the diversity in our creative workforce and ensure that gender and age and culture are no barriers to our creative workforce. So, different places require different approaches, but through my work, we'll have a scaffold there that can help create better policy for regional areas.